So I happen to be a really big fan of the Mario franchise, as you guys know, because I've already put out a lot of videos talking about Mario on the channel, and I wanted to take some time today and talk about why Bowser is the perfect enemy for Mario, because if you guys played the Mario games over the years, the final boss in every Mario game is always Bowser, and these two have been butting heads for almost 40 years, because next year is going to mark the 40th anniversary of the Super Mario Bros. Game, and that's just pretty crazy to think about. Like, I wasn't around when that game was first released, but I still remember playing it for the first time, and it's just crazy to think that Mario has been butting heads with Bowser for almost 40 years. So one of the first things I do want to talk about when it comes to Mario and Bowser's character is the contrasting goals between both characters, because obviously throughout each and every single one of these Mario games, Bowser has a set goal and Mario has a set goal. Because when it comes to Bowser's goal, he always has an attempt to kidnap Princess Peach in every single Mario game. Well, depending on what Mario game it is, because sometimes Princess Peach is a playable character, but he tends to always go after Princess Peach and kidnap her, and then he always wants to take over the Mushroom Kingdom, or whatever place is set in that game he always wants to take control of. And then you guys see from Mario is that his goal is to save the kingdom, or whatever set place it is within whatever Mario game that is, and also rescue Princess Peach, which ends up creating a timeless conflict within the series narrative overall. And that's one of the things that really stands out when it comes to Bowser and Mario's character, because they always have the same goal in mind. That's why we always get these different kinds of Mario games thrown at us at every single time. And I'm honestly okay with it. Like, it doesn't have to be like this crazy complex narrative where like Bowser's trying to do something that we've never seen him do before in any other Mario game. Like, I'm honestly okay with like the same structure that we get with these Mario games, because it's simple, it works, and everybody loves it. And that's one of the first things I do want to say when it comes to the goals between both of these characters, because they align with one another and it complements the both of them very well. And the other thing I want to talk about is how each of their personalities complement each other within the Mario games itself when it comes to Bowser and Mario. Because when it comes to Mario's personality, as we've seen through each and every single one of these Mario games, Mario has a kind and cheerful personality, which honestly is like the perfect foil for Bowser as well, because when you look at Bowser's character overall, Bowser has a dark and aggressive nature, which ends up creating like a compelling contrast between both of these characters, and it honestly works very well, because whenever you see Bowser and Mario in the screen, it just works, like it just clicks, like it's just the whole entire method that Nintendo came up with that made both of these characters complement each other very well whenever they're interacting with one another, which also adds to their battles as well when you're going up against Bowser towards the end of the game, which makes the battles more engaging. And also when it comes to Bowser overall, he has that iconic design that really stands out for his character, because you don't really see any other character looking like Bowser. Because when it comes to Bowser, what really stands out about his design is his size, the spiky shell that he always has, and that menacing grin that makes him like an automatically recognizable character and intimidating villain, which pretty much cements his status as that final boss within the Mario games itself. So whenever I look at Bowser, I'm like, okay, I recognize that character because he just stands out. He's just somebody that was created that really sticks out when it comes to all these different kinds of bosses that we come across in all these different kinds of video games that we played before. And I also want to talk about the power dynamic between Bowser and Mario as well, because each of them are different. Bowser and Mario like isn't the same character where they both have the same abilities. Like, they actually have some differences with one another. Like, when it comes to Bowser, as we've seen through multiple Mario games, he has incredible strength that he shows off within each of these games. Like, if he's picking up something and he's throwing it, or if he's just shooting out fireballs when he's using his fire breath, or whatever the case may be, or whenever Kamek is using his magic on Bowser to like increase his size or just make Bowser look very intimidating, or if there's any other of these magical abilities that's being shown to us that Bowser has as well. That's another way to show Bowser's power throughout each and every single one of these Mario games as well. And also what we have with Mario, as well as we've seen from each and every single one of these games, we see that Mario also has different skills when it comes to, you know, his jumping abilities, or the different kinds of power-ups that he comes in contact with, like the regular mushroom or the fire flower, the ice flower, the cape, or if it's like the Tanuki suit, or whatever the case may be. You know, Mario always has these different kinds of power-ups in his arsenal that he can use against Bowser So once both of them go up against one another, both of them push each other to their limits, and we just see like this chaotic battle break loose between both of these characters. And also, like I mentioned earlier in this video, when it comes to when Super Mario Bros. Was first released back in 1985, that was actually the debut of Bowser, because before that, Bowser wasn't a thing. I mean, Mario was just Jumpman in the Donkey Kong game until Mario got his own game, and that's when you saw Bowser for the very first time. And that pretty much cemented his current role as like the main antagonist in the Mario series, because ever since that game, Bowser has been a reoccurring antagonist within the Mario franchise. Like whenever you're playing a mainline Mario game, like when it comes to Super Mario Bros. Or Super Mario Bros. 3 or Super Mario World or Super Mario Bros. 64, Sunshine, Galaxy, etc., so on, Bowser's always the person that you see before you finish that game. And also, we've seen some interesting development from Bowser's character throughout each and every single one of these Mario games. Like, yes, it isn't crazy or it's like this over complex character like Sephiroth is from Final Fantasy VII, but Bowser has also had, like, you know, an interesting personality as we've seen throughout each of these Mario games. Because at first, when we got introduced to him, he didn't really have that much of a personality at first, because he was just this character that honestly just shot fire breath at you and just stood there until you just hit the axe before he went down in the lava, or you just jumped on him to defeat him in that game, or you just grabbed his tail and just thrown him outside of the battle arena, like when you were fighting him in Super Mario 64. Like, we actually seen, like, in the newer Mario games especially, that his character was fleshed out to reveal more, where it revealed more of a personality that his character had. Like, he included like a dry sense of humor, and he also had like that insecurity when it came to driving each of his actions throughout these kinds of Mario games, which I can appreciate, because at least it gives somewhat of a personality to Bowser as well that really makes his character stand out in these Mario games. And also, we gotta talk about the symbolism, like when it comes to the rivalry between Bowser and Mario as well, because there's always that message between why these two characters are going after one another, or what message each character represents when it comes to Bowser and Mario. Because when it comes to Bowser, he pretty much represents like this destructive power of chaos and darkness, as we've seen in each and every single one of these Mario games, and he definitely displays that very well, where he represents that symbolism when it comes to his character. And looking at what that does to Mario, that pretty much serves as a foil to who Mario is as a character, because Mario is very heroic, and that pretty much embodies who he is as a character. And you also got to talk about like the impact that Bowser has had on the Mario franchise as well, because Bowser has been around for over 40 years. So obviously he's a veteran in the Mario franchise, and he's definitely had a huge impact on the franchise, because we've seen with Bowser within the Mario games itself, like just his presence alone has driven the series narrative and gameplay when it comes to like all these different kinds of new power-ups that's being introduced into these Mario games, or these new levels that are designed, and these different kinds of mechanics that are introduced. And he pretty much just cements his status as like, okay, you can't have a Mario game without having Bowser included in that game. And that's something that I can appreciate, because when I play other games like The Legend of Zelda, I'm always expecting to see Ganon, or if I'm playing Kirby games, I'm expecting to see King Dedede, or I'm expecting to see Sephiroth and Final Fantasy VII, or if I'm playing through the Metroid games, I'm expecting to see like Ridley or Mother Brain. So Bowser has definitely cemented his status as a mainstay in the Mario franchise, and I'm really happy for that, because I happen to be a really big fan of Bowser. I absolutely love this character. I always have fun going up against him each and every single one of these Mario games. I mean, my first experience fighting Bowser overall was back in Super Mario World, where I was playing as Mario and I had to throw all those little toy Koopas at Bowser so I can eventually defeat him and rescue Princess Peach so we can go on that little vacation in that game towards the end. So I definitely appreciate what Bowser has done in the franchise, and he definitely sticks out as one of the most recognizable video game villains within any video game out there, because when you think of like those recognizable video game characters, Bowser definitely comes up. But overall, that's honestly all I have to say when it comes to why Bowser is the perfect enemy for Mario in the Mario franchise. So I'm really curious to hear you guys' thoughts on this. Like, how do you guys feel about Bowser as a whole? What do you guys feel about Mario? Like, what do you guys feel about the whole dynamic between each other? And if you guys want to say anything overall about the Mario series, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below, because I happen to be a really big fan of the Mario franchise, as I mentioned before. So I really wanted to take some time and actually sit down and just give my thoughts on these two characters and explain their dynamic within the franchise itself, because you always have to have that perfect hero that complements the villain of that franchise as well. And Mario and Bowser, as I mentioned within this video itself several times, complement each other very well. And I'm honestly really glad that I'm able to discuss my thoughts on this overall with you guys. So as I said, be sure to let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you guys enjoy this video, be sure to like and subscribe. I really appreciate it, especially if you happen to be a really big fan of Mario like I am. And if you guys want to follow me on my social media, see what I'm doing outside of YouTube, be sure to check out my Twitter, my Instagram, my TikTok, and my Facebook page. All of that is located in the description below. I actually just posted my first TikTok video the other day, so we're going to start pushing that agenda and post more on TikTok, so I am super happy about that. And if you guys want to be notified when I upload a new video on the channel, be sure to click on that bell for notifications so you guys are aware right away. But other than that, I hope all of you guys are having a fantastic day, wherever the day may be, if it's the daytime, the nighttime, or the evening. And I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, peace out.